Hello, folks, and welcome to Secure Freedom Radio. This is Jim Hansen sitting in for Frank. We're going to have a rollicking hour talking about the first week of Trump's presidency. Now, he is off to a roaring good start and is making excellent use of his pen and phone. But this seems to be giving liberals and the media, but I repeat myself, fits. They can't understand why he seems to think that he can write executive actions and make things they don't like happen. They are aghast that he would have the audacity to actually use executive power. Well, welcome to our world, as that has been the painful status quo for the bulk of Obama's administration. But there is a huge difference between what Obama was doing and what President Trump is doing. Obama was misusing executive authority to change laws he didn't like. He wrote a bunch of orders on immigration that clearly changed existing laws. Now, I always seem to hear that Obama was some kind of lecturer on the Constitution, but he seems to have a very sketchy recollection of the delineation of separation of powers among the branches of our government. You see, let me give him a quick reminder. Congress writes laws, the president implements and enforces them. But Obama decided that since he didn't like the actual laws, he would simply write some rules ignoring them and say no mas. So he tried to grant what was essentially an amnesty to illegal aliens, and with a stroke of his pen, make them what he liked to call new Americans. Well, thankfully, the Supreme Court took a look at their copy of the Constitution and threw a big old flag on the play. They said, "Hold up there, young fella. If you want the law changed, then go ahead and get Congress to do that. Then you can use your pen to sign it." Now that elicited howls of outrage from the usual suspects, as they saw their best chance to thwart the will of the American people go right down the pipes. Now these same folks are outraged again, but this time because President Trump is using his pen. And it's comical to watch their newfound sense of constitutional order since their guy is no longer the big kahuna. Suddenly, executive orders are wicked and immoral and probably, wait for it, unconstitutional. The even more comical and actually painful for those of us with a solid idea how our republic operates is the idea that what President Trump is doing damages our democracy. They completely ignored Obama's vast overreaches and violations of his actual executive authority. And now they want to complain when those very overreaches are reined back in. Because that is the essence of almost every action President Trump took this week. He is requiring that U.S. laws be followed and enforced. He is not legislating from the Oval Office like Obama did. He is undoing the unconstitutional actions of his lawless predecessor. So the left is now arguing that requiring the government to faithfully follow the laws that were legally enacted is somehow a threat to our entire system of government. It is gobsmackingly absurd. And yet they are so blinded by their desire for partisan victories on the issues they care about that they are willing to flip our entire constitutional order on its head to get what they want. Well, no. We had an election, and in large part, the excesses of their chosen one were the cause of the Trump phenomenon. Previously silent groups of Americans could no longer sit by and watch as the country they love was being fundamentally transformed into a politically correct, social democratic, statist autocracy. Trump gave them a voice, And it says we want a strong and lawful America that respects its citizens, not a collection of faceless bureaucrats led by a feckless narcissist telling us they know better than we do how to live our lives. Okay, let's shift gears now from the big picture to the details. This week, President Trump said, "Heck yeah, I'm going to build that wall, so get digging." That campaign promise resonated with the majority of Americans who understand that a country without borders isn't a country. He also said that illegal aliens who commit crimes are going straight to the front of the line. And that ain't the line for citizenship. It's the line for a boot, kicking them right out of the country. Now, that's not a lack of compassion for the people who came here illegally and are not committing crimes, and even contributing in some ways. It's a recognition that our policies must put legal immigrants, and more importantly, American citizens first. If there are criminals, they have to go. And if we are to be a nation state, we must protect and defend our borders. Now let's talk about another policy that should be coming very soon and is currently causing liberal heads to explode even at the thought of it. That would be a pause to immigration from areas influenced or controlled by the jihadists. Now, could there be a more common sense policy than one that says if there is a place where the bad guys who are slaughtering for their cause are dominant or pervasive, and we can't tell the good guys from the bad, then maybe we shouldn't allow folks from there to come to this country. I mean, I find it amazing that this is a controversial policy, but it would be a mistake to underestimate the ability of the liberal media propaganda complex to demagogue anything. So now they deem this a Muslim ban or a Muslim registry, as if Trump will somehow have jackbooted thugs knocking on doors to check for copies of the Quran. Nope. This is simply recognizing that we should stop importing jihadists. As Frank says, we have enough already. I mean, what country on earth can survive if it invites its enemies to come and enjoy all the fruits of that society while knowing they are planning the very extinction of its way of life? Well, we are not signers to any suicide pact. And so once again, President Trump will be returning this country to existing law that says no one other than U.S. citizens has any right to enter this country. Anyone wanting to enter must prove to us that we should let them in. And we may deny entry to anyone we deem a threat. Even more directly, the law prohibits entry for totalitarian ideologies. And in case anyone missed it, the Sharia law of the Islamists is about as totalitarian, barbarian, anti-constitutional, and anti-American as you can get. So no, you can't bring that here. Oh, and by the way, that rumbling sound you guys may hear is bombs dropping on your caliphate in Iraq and Syria. Because our new Secretary of Defense, James Mattis, is not real big on leading from behind. And fortunately, neither is the new president. I think they may actually have a plan to cut down the black flag, as the book of that name, which I helped write, calls for. Our enemy is radical Islamic terrorism. And President Trump stood on the steps of the Capitol right after taking the oath of office and said, "We will eliminate it." I think we can take him at his word on that. And that means killing the terrorists everywhere we can find them and making sure we don't invite anyone who supports them here.